Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the high-stakes, absolutely fascinating world of drug safety. Seriously, think about the medicine sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now. Ever wonder who makes sure it actually stays safe years or even decades after it was first approved? Well, today we are going to look at Health Canada's good pharmacovigilance practices. Basically, we'll unpack the exact legal framework that forces pharmaceutical manufacturers to constantly track and report on drug safety data to keep the public safe. Let's get into it.
So let's just bust a huge myth right out of the gate. A drug getting approved, that is definitely not the finish line. I know we kind of tend to think that once a pill hits the pharmacy shelves, the safety testing is 100% over and done with. But actually, that approval is just the moment the real, continuous safety surveillance kicks off in the general population. It's a lifelong commitment for the manufacturer. It's really all about actively protecting public health long after those initial clinical trials have wrapped up.
Okay, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to hit 6 critical compliance domains: the post-market safety net, the 15-day reporting rule, annual and ongoing surveillance, global alerts and special issues, the 25-year record mandate, and finally, taking action through label updates. All right, Section 1, the post-market safety net, focusing on understanding pharmacovigilance. Let's look at the foundation. Now, the sheer scope of this concept, pharmacovigilance, is absolutely critical. It is the ultimate safety net. We're talking about a continuous, strict legal obligation for a manufacturer to monitor, collect, evaluate, and report safety data. Your job as a pharma company absolutely does not end at the sale. You have to ensure those products remain safe and effective for their entire life cycle. It's not some passive wait-and-see game. It requires proactive, dedicated systems to ensure a drug's risk-benefit profile stays favorable from day 1 all the way to year 20 and beyond. Moving right along to Section 2, the 15-day reporting rule. I like to call these the urgent tripwires.
Okay, so the crucial thing to understand here is this strict ticking clock. Under Regulation C.01.017, manufacturers have exactly 15 calendar days to alert the minister after becoming aware of a serious safety issue. 15 days. And remember, those are calendar days. That means weekends, holidays. They offer 0 breaks. You really need highly efficient internal triage systems to manage this. The very second a company receives the minimum criteria to form an individual case safety report, boom, day 0 hits. And that 15-day countdown to notify Health Canada aggressively begins.
Now, there's a really fascinating nuance to this 15-day rule, and it all depends on geography. For domestic reports, meaning the reaction happened right here in Canada, any serious adverse drug reaction triggers that fast reporting. But for foreign reporting, the reaction has to be both serious and unexpected to trip that 15-day alarm. So why the difference? Well, this distinction acts like a filter. It essentially helps Health Canada zero in on the most critical, completely novel risks popping up globally without completely flooding their systems with expected side effects that are already known to happen worldwide.
Let's jump into Section 3, annual and ongoing surveillance. Time to look at the panoramic radar. Let's break down the 2 massive safety reports that manufacturers have to juggle. First up is the Annual Summary Report, or ASR. Think of this one like routine vehicle maintenance. It's self-initiated, it happens every year, and it critically analyzes all interval safety data to see if the overall risk-benefit profile has shifted at all. But then, you have the Issue-Related Summary Report, the ISRS. This one is highly targeted, and it's initiated directly by the minister to dig into a specific safety issue. And the timeline here is wild. The minister can actually demand this massive report in less than 30 days if they need to figure out immediately if a drug poses a serious, imminent risk to public health.
To actually build those comprehensive reports, manufacturers have to constantly run this 3-step signal management process. They're essentially acting as medical detectives. Step 1 is signal detection, running a constant environmental scan through global literature and databases to hunt for anomalies. Step 2 is signal evaluation, where they bring in qualified healthcare professionals to do a deep, risk-based medical analysis on whatever anomalies they found. And Step 3 is action. That means resolving these signals and making the tough call on whether the drug's risk management plan needs an immediate update.
That brings us to Section 4, global alerts and special issues. This is where the safety net expands internationally. Prepare yourself for another insanely strict deadline, 72 hours. See, because drugs are often marketed way earlier or in much higher volumes in other countries, important safety signals usually show up overseas first. So if a manufacturer gets wind of a serious risk, a mandatory labeling change, or a recall issued by a foreign regulatory authority, they have a maximum of just 72 hours to notify Health Canada. Literally 3 days.
This rapid-fire communication is absolutely crucial so our domestic safety net can catch global issues before they hit Canadians.
Now, safety isn't just about unexpected side effects. Think about it. What if a medication simply stops doing what it's supposed to do? Imagine taking an antibiotic that suddenly just completely fails to clear a standard infection. Well, the guidelines actually call this an unusual failure in efficacy. If a manufacturer establishes a record of a new drug unexpectedly failing to work, it triggers the exact same rapid 15-day reporting rule we talked about earlier. Yep, a lack of effectiveness is treated with the exact same urgency as a severe, harmful reaction.
Let's head over to Section 5, the 25-year record mandate. We're zooming out to look at the historical view of data governance.
This specific legal text from Regulation C.01.020 reveals a genuinely staggering requirement. Think about the pure logistics here. Pharmaceutical companies have to keep secure, accessible data, and we're talking source documents, complex evaluations, massive summary reports, for a full quarter of a century. 25 years. I mean, that is longer than a lot of marriages, and it is definitely longer than the lifespan of most software systems. But whether it's paper or electronic, this rule ensures Health Canada can audit the historical integrity of a drug's safety profile literally decades after the fact.
Now, to actually stay compliant for 25 years, manufacturers can't exactly just shove files into a dusty basement cabinet or a random hard drive. They are forced to enforce incredibly strict data integrity protocols, turning this whole thing into the ultimate IT and compliance challenge. Every single piece of data has to be reliable and complete. Electronic signatures must be perfectly traceable. Systems have to feature rigid time and date stamped audit trails so you know exactly who changed a record and why. Plus, the electronic systems themselves must be formally validated. It's all to ensure no crucial safety report is ever lost, altered, or just accidentally deleted over those decades.
And finally, Section 6, taking action through label updates. Let's look at the real-world resolution to all this tracking.
The really crucial takeaway here is that all of this intense data tracking, the rapid reporting, the 25-year archiving, it's not just bureaucratic busywork. It directly leads to tangible actions that protect public health. When the safety net catches a signal, manufacturers have to act. They might file supplements to update the drug's label with brand new warnings, or Health Canada might step in and slap specific new terms and conditions on the drug's identification number. Ultimately, risk management plans are adjusted to make sure doctors and patients are armed with the absolute latest science before a prescription is ever written.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this thought. The next time you take a medication, just think for a second about the invisible, continuous web of pharmacovigilance surrounding it. With strict 15-day reporting tripwires, 72-hour global alerts, and a mandatory 25-year data retention rule, the system literally never sleeps. Knowing there is this massive global tracking system logging every single reaction and failure, how much safer do you feel about the medicine in your cabinet today? It's a hugely complex system, but it is designed entirely around protecting you. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep exploring.